All right, guys, we're about to go over the presentation. This is our fintech innovation, and for all the new people, if you're brand new, just getting started with us, I want to preface this by saying you have to take notes. Pen and paper, not phone. Pen and paper. It does something, to your brain for retention purposes when you put the pen to the pad. So what to take notes for? Pay attention to the questions, if any, that you hear Shondel ask, and more importantly, really importantly, pay attention to the transitions from slide to slide. Really pay attention to the transitions from slide to slide, because honestly, that is what puts the entire masterpiece together, is the transitions. So take notes, take rigorous notes, because I believe that is what's going to help you master this key fundamental, which is a powerful presentation. And afterwards, I'll go through a couple objections, which overcoming objections is another key fundamental of Primerica.
Perfect. So yeah, we're gonna go through this presentation, guys. We are gonna do a live role play. So we're gonna have Morgan and Eugene be our clients, and Josh is gonna be the trainee in this scenario. So we're gonna go through it like it's a live appointment, qualified appointment. So like I said, pay attention, take good notes, and hopefully you guys become independent from watching this. Actually, it's fine. So also Morgan and Eugene, I guess you guys unmute yourself first. But how are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. We really appreciate you meeting with us. We're super excited about Josh, and just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about me, and then have you just find out a little bit about you. I've been in the financial industry now for about 7 years, and just really excited about what we're doing within our company. Me and my husband, we have about 70 licensed agents, and I didn't originate in the financial industry. I was actually a biology major. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I did not really know anything about business or finance at all, but I played at the University of Richmond on a full ride for soccer. And when I graduated, I started working at a vet clinic right away. And when that was the case, I ended up getting, I was there for about a year and a couple months, and ended up getting bit by a dog, a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix, got bit on my face. And I think in my eyes, that was a sign from God saying I shouldn't be a veterinarian anymore. So when that happened, I ended up, I was working with the company part-time. My parents were actually clients, and they had introduced me to the company as a way just to make extra income and just learn a little bit about money, because they were already clients of Primerica. And so with that, that's how I got started. After I got bit by the dog, I ended up transitioning into the industry, and ended up being a really good spare tire for me. And I truly love helping people and making a difference in people's lives. And so right now we're in a massive expansion phase, and that's why we're helping Josh get to the point to where he can learn this presentation. And so today is really going to be beneficial for him. So we appreciate you guys meeting. What do you guys do right now for work, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a store manager at Walgreens.
And I just do basically warehouse work right now.
Okay, awesome. How long have you been at Walgreens?
14 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, long time. You still love it?
Yeah, I like working with my team every day, and, helping people, like you said.
Okay, awesome. And Eugene, what about you? How long have you been doing warehouse work?
At this job, I've only been there for a couple months, but I've been doing it majority half of my life. So
okay, gotcha. So both long-time careers. That's awesome. And you guys in Virginia as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Right now on Zoom, we're all over the place, so I always like to ask. So yeah, what I'm going to do is go through this presentation here. We are in the fintech industry, which is just financial services through technology. Pretty much just been a lot of new innovations through technology, and we're just using that to help us connect with our clients moving forward. And we definitely, like I said earlier, want to thank you for your time. We know that time is extremely valuable, and we're going to do our best to honor your time today. So one of three things will usually happen when we meet with a family. So number one, hopefully you're already excited about Josh and what he's doing and the new career path that he's exploring. But hopefully after this presentation, you're even more excited about how he's going to be helping families and the difference that he's making in families' lives. So my job is to help him get new introductions of people that you think can benefit. So if you feel excited about the concepts that we're teaching, just start brainstorming, thinking of people that are just like you, married, may have children, that can benefit from this information. Because at the end of the presentation, I'm going to circle around and ask back for about 5 to 10 introductions, because that's how he's going to continue his training process, and that's how he's going to continue to expand. Is that fair? All right, awesome. So then the next thing is value. If you guys see any personal value in what it is that we're doing to help families, then we would love the opportunity to earn your business. And then the last thing is partnership. So with that, we are rapidly expanding across the country nationally, always looking for people that might be looking for extra income opportunities, maybe especially with COVID going on right now. Some people are looking for extra income. Maybe they've been laid off, furloughed, any of those situations. And they might be looking for better opportunities for work. And also, if not that, then you might know people that are, maybe they don't like what they're doing for work and they might be looking for a change. So all of those people are great introductions for Josh, because he is looking to build an agency as well. So for financially, has anyone done any financial work for you in the past?
No.
No, none at all. Okay. So usually when that's the case, it's due to one of three reasons. Either number one, someone just said, I don't really care about my money. I don't really need it. That's usually rare if somebody says that. Number two, somebody says, I don't really know if I can afford it. I never really had a financial coach or an advisor. So not sure if that could fit within our budget. Or number three, most Americans, they just procrastinate. Never got a chance to sit down and talk to anybody because school, work, kids, life. They never got a chance to. So out of those three, which best fits you guys?
Probably the time.
Time? Okay. Yeah, that's most people. So hopefully now we're here and we're able to provide some information for you guys to maybe help you get on track as well. So what we kind of see in the country is that there's a lot of financial challenges going on, and it's really bad out there. A lot of people don't even realize as bad as it is out there right now. So when you look at it, nearly 8 in 10 workers report living paycheck to paycheck. That's almost everybody. 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. If we're not saving any money, then now that's going to lead to the next statistic. The average U.S. household carries a credit card balance of about almost $17,000. So when we don't have a lot of money saved up, people resort to credit cards, right, in emergencies and so on situations. The average life insurance coverage gap is about $495,000 per household. So when you look at that, number one, people may not have any coverage at all. Number two, people may not have the right type of coverage. And then number three, if they do, they're significantly underinsured, don't have enough. And then 45% of Americans say they have less than $25,000 in savings and investments put away for retirement. So Maureen and Eugene, how long do you think $25,000 will last somebody?
Maybe a couple months.
A few months. I do.
Yeah, just a couple months, not long at all. So with that, we want to help people kind of get on track and get into better situations. So our mission is to help families become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. So properly protected, that's through the various insurances. Debt-free, obviously getting to the point to where we don't owe anybody any money, the mortgage is paid off, credit cards, everything. And then the last thing is being financially independent. I believe that definition could be different for everybody. So when you think about financially independent, what does that mean to you?
For me, it's just being able to do what I want to do and not have to, second guess myself on what I'm studying.
Okay.
Being able to retire.
Awesome. Awesome. And what about you, Eugene?
For me, it just means that ain't nobody calling my phone asking for money. So
Yes, there we go. That's
that's
perfect.
exactly what it means to me.
I don't want that either. So with that, we want to help whatever those goals are for the family. We want to help them accomplish that. But truly, what our major focus is to get someone to the point in life to where they no longer have to work for money. And the only way that that's possible is if you either have investments where money's working for you, or you have a business where people are working for you. And then you can truly be financially independent and no longer have to go to work for money. So that's what we really want to accomplish. Now, as far as our company, are you guys familiar with Primerica?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, that's fine. So Primerica, we're a very large firm, been around for a very long time. We actually were part of Citigroup, if you're familiar with them. And right now, we're actually become the leading financial provider of financial products to middle income families with about 126,000 licensed agents. We're also publicly traded, so we are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Are you guys familiar with the New York Stock Exchange?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so our stock ticker is PRI. We've been on there since 2010, and we've also been in business since 1977. So we're not a startup company. It's not something overnight. Over 40 years we've been in business, and we have over 7 million clients. 5 million have insurance, 2 million also have investments. So you can see a lot of people already trust us with their money. And when we look at it, we feel that this is the current reality. We feel that people are more lost financially than ever, that human beings are capable of a lot of things, but they're just overwhelmed with information. They don't really know where to start. Sometimes people might feel a little ashamed of their current financial situation or any previous mistakes that they've made. And when you look at all of the institutions out there, banks, insurance companies, financial companies, they're not really working at the consumer's best interest. So a lot of people have lost faith in those companies. Banks are charging overdraft fees. I'm sure you guys have maybe experienced those in the past. They always want us in debt. Insurance companies are ripping people off with bad policies, and then all of the financial institutions as well. They're not really on our side. And so we feel that we do have the answers. We have the answers. We have the tools, the resources, the companies that we actually partner with, and also not just that, but the technology. And through that technology, we can connect the consumer, right, to all of the resources that are available. And when you look at that, we can also help people with their accountability and discipline to help them get on track financially. And traditionally in the financial industry, most financial companies want to sit down with a certain type of person, people that are wealthy, and they don't really want to reach out to the masses. And so that's where we can kind of fit in. But then also on the technology side, we're what we call high touch. We're always in contact with our clients. You can reach out to us at any time through any of our software, our innovation, our technology, to where now we're always connected. So when you look at it, these are a lot of the companies that we actually partner with. Are you guys familiar with any of these here?
Yes.
Okay, which ones?
The Lincoln Financial Group one I heard about.
Okay, awesome. Any other ones?
The American Funds and the Vivint Smart Home.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So you guys are familiar with some of these companies, and I think this is great because what makes Primerica unique is that we have the ability to partner with the best of the best financial companies across the country. I believe that we are kind of a one-stop shop, and we can provide so much value to families in various areas. Now, when you start thinking about people, like I said, with referrals that you can introduce to Josh, these are all the various concepts that we can help a family with. So first, number one, our bread and butter is the life insurance. We help families mainly with that, but then we can help open up 401k plans for business owners, right, and all of their employees. We can help people with annuities if they're nearing retirement. Maybe they're looking for like a pension-like product, something to provide some type of protection against loss. Those are great ways that we can help people like that. Mutual funds. Here, if people are still in the growth phases of saving, we can help people with IRAs as well as college plans. Then we can help people with identity theft protection and a legal protection if they need a will written. And then we've just rolled out mortgages again. So we just partnered with Quicken Loans, and we're going to be able to help people with that. That's just getting established. You guys are already familiar with Vivint. So that's the #1 smart home security system in the country. And then Answer Financial helps people save money on auto and home insurance. So these are all the various areas that we can help people with. And it also helps people in all aspects of their life, just starting off as well as at retirement or even through retirement. Now, when we look at the financial program, we want to help people with a couple different things. So we want to help people establish their financial priorities. Maybe that's a budget, calculate their net worth, the difference between their assets and their liabilities. Then we want to help people establish their FIN. So we create this program called your Money GPS, right? And the Money GPS is going to look at all of these different areas. And when we calculate some specific numbers, there's something called your FIN. You guys want to take a guess on what that means?
Okay.
Financial identification number, or
Close. So it's financial independence number, right? So it's just the amount of money that we need to have saved up to retire, because a lot of people think that retirement is an age thing. It's not, it's a number. So we can help people calculate that. Then we want to help people obviously eliminate their debt and understand their coverage needs. Because how often do people read 50 pages of their insurance policy?
Never.
Never, right? Never. So we want to help people kind of understand those situations. And this Money GPS that we provide is complimentary. We don't charge any fees for it. And we can provide a lot of value for a family to help them get on track, reroute them if need be. Now, one of the concepts that we teach is called compound interest. Are you guys familiar with this at all?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it's a great concept. If you want to accomplish financial independence, this is how you're going to get your money working for you. So let's start off with a simple example. Let's say someone was going to save $200 a month. Would you say that $200 is a lot of money?
Not really, but I mean, possibly it could be, depending on, what's going on that month.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So it's always going to vary. Now, let's say, for example, when you think about most Americans, we like to shop out of convenience, right? So there's a lot of times we like to stop at 7-Eleven. I mean, maybe sometimes you're at work at Walgreens, there's snacks and stuff there all the time. People love their coffee. So on a day-to-day, how much would you say you just waste on just extras, like non-necessities? What would you say, Morgan?
It could be $15 to $20 a day.
15 to 20. Okay. And Eugene, what about you?
Depends on what I'm doing, but probably about 15 to, about
Same
15.
thing?
Yeah,
About
same
15?
thing.
Okay. So let's call that $30 a day, right? And there's 30 days in a month. So when you look at that, that's $900 a month. Crazy, right? So when we look at this, if we just take a little bit of it, maybe you want to keep some of those habits, that's fine. But we take a little bit of it, $6 to $7 a day, that's $200 a month. Now, if we set that aside for 35 years and we just put it under our mattress, we have about $84,000. Now, would you say that you could retire with $84,000?
No.
No, it's a nice piece of change though.
Right. So 84,000 is good, but that money's probably going to run out within a year. So let's say, for example, we can get that money to grow at 3%. Now we have 148,000. All right, a little bit better. If it grows at 6%, now we have 286,000. Can we retire yet?
Getting comfortable.
Getting better.
Get a little better, right? So let's say, for example, we can get 12%. How much do you think? How much do you think you would have if you were growing your money at 12%?
Like 600,000 maybe.
Yeah, double it again. Yeah.
Double it again. That's exactly what I thought. But let's look at what it is. $1.3 billion. Crazy, right?
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
That was a lot better. So when we look at that, compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Albert Einstein said that. So when we look at that, we have to get our money to start working for us. And a lot of times that money is there. We just have to put it in the right places. And so we want to teach families where they can save and invest their money to get those higher rates of returns instead of just saving it at places like the bank or not allocated correctly in their 401ks. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Awesome. So that's the exciting part, right? Accomplishing financial independence, but we do have to protect ourselves along the way. So let's look at this real life example. We have the wife bringing in income, husband's bringing in income. They have small children. So in this scenario, 7,000 of income's coming in. But when you look at it, in most households, whatever's coming in is going out, sometimes even more, right? And what are we taking care of? Mortgage, cars, insurance, the credit cards, utilities, groceries, childcare, all of those things. Now, is there anything out of the ordinary there, or are those like typical bills?
Those are pretty basic.
Pretty basic bills, right? Our general necessities. So let's say if we looked at this financially, their income is taking care of a majority of their bills. So what would you say is the worst thing that can happen to this family financially?
One of them to lose their job.
Okay, right. And why is that devastating?
Because that's half of the income that's going to be gone.
Yeah, and so now they're not going to be able to take care of their bills. So when they lose half of their income, think about it, that's their job. And if somebody was responsible, like you guys, for example, if you lost your job, have kids, responsibilities, are you just going to sit at home, or what are you going to try to find?
Find another job, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So not probably, definitely, right? So with that, that's just a temporary loss of income. But what's even worse than that? Worst thing possible.
They both lose their job?
Okay, that's getting a little bit better. But I mean, we're both probably still gonna start looking for another job. So what do you think is the worst thing?
Maybe if one of them passes away.
Yeah, exactly. If God forbid one of them passed away, now that income is lost permanently to the family, permanently to that household. And if that was to happen, what could the family possibly lose?
Everything.
Right, everything, the mortgage, the cars, not gonna be able to maybe have childcare, all those situations. So if you were to think about it, if God forbid anything was to happen to either one of you, would you want the family to be better, the same, or worse?
Better.
Definitely better.
Right, so we would want the family to be better off. Now, if God forbid, knock on wood, something did happen to either one of you guys tomorrow, would the family be better off?
I believe they would be okay. We have, some things in place.
Okay, so you guys have some type of coverage in place. That's great. That's what we really want to help people kind of figure out, right? We don't, and that's through our income protection. So we don't call it life insurance because it does replace our life, but it does replace our income. And so with that, we want to make sure our family, number one, not just only has it in place, but maybe has enough coverage in place as well. So when we look at building a financial house, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute highest, how would you guys rate your desire to become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent?
Mine is a 10.
10. What about you, Eugene?
Like an 8.
Like an 8. Okay, so still pretty motivated, right, to accomplish those things. So let's say you guys were going to build your dream home, and what's the first part of the home that has to be built that has to be the strongest?
The foundation.
Exactly. And the foundation has to be the strongest. So if for any reason it's not, what happens to the house?
It caves in.
Yeah, it's gonna fall.
Exactly. It's literally gonna fall. So when we look at that concept, it's the exact same thing with our financial house. We need the foundation to be very strong, and we believe that the foundation is the income protection. So with that, the income protection is the life insurance. We want to make sure that's strong, and then we can address all of the other areas, right? Because think about this. Even though we want to be debt-free, maybe set aside money for the kids' college education and not stop working one day, right? Have the opportunity to retire. If God forbid someone passed away and this was shaky, how much harder would it be to take care of all of these areas?
Very hard.
Very hard, right? So out of these areas, number 1, debt elimination, 2, college, 3, retirement savings, and 4, income protection. Morgan, what would you say are your top 2 priorities, the most important to you?
Definitely income protection and retirement.
Okay, perfect. And then Eugene, what about you?
1 and 4.
1 and 4, debt elimination and income protection. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through a little bit about the foundation, the income protection, and if we have time, we can address the other areas. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So when we start off in this scenario, how much coverage would you guys say you have? I know you mentioned you have something in place from earlier.
Yeah, through my job, I believe it's 250,000.
Yeah, in my job, I got 200,000.
Okay. So 250 and 200 through your job.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you guys have any private coverage outside of that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So usually when we sit down with the family, there's 4 ways to protect the family in 4 different scenarios. So number 1, somebody can have no coverage at all. 2, they have employer coverage, group insurance, like in your situation, or they can have private coverage, either cash value, which is whole life or universal life, or term insurance. So with that, usually what I like to go through is just providing some information about employer coverage, since that's where you guys are at currently. So first, there's a couple points that I like to cover regarding group insurance. So number 1, let's say, for example, you guys are offered a better opportunity, better commute to work, just overall a better position. Would you take it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And then what would happen to your insurance?
Stays at my old job.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't go with us. So one of the first major points is that it's not portable. It doesn't go with us, right? So the second thing is regarding kind of ownership of our policy. So when you think about it, if you have like car insurance and homeowners insurance, we're usually the policy owners, right?
Right.
So let's say, for example, you got your certificate from Walgreens, from the warehouse, and you're like, hey, this is going to protect my family, my kids. It's the most important thing to me, but I just want to make sure everything's okay. So you go to an attorney, Mr. Smith, and you say, Mr. Smith, can you read this contract over for me and just make sure that everything in this is good to go? Mr. Smith's going to be like, hey, yeah, it's fine, but I just want to let you know right on the front page that the policy owner does not say Morgan and Eugene, right? So it actually says your employer. In this case, it was the state of Maryland. Someone worked for Maryland. But in your guys' case, it would say Walgreens and the warehouse company, right? So if we don't own the policy, now they have all the rights and can make a lot of changes. So when we look here, it says, can this certificate be amended? What does that say there, Morgan?
I gotta move our pictures out of the way. All right. So it says, yes, we retain the right to amend the certificate at any time without your consent.
Without. How does that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good, right? And then when we look at the next thing, there's something called an actively at work requirement. So you want to go ahead and read what that is as well?
To be eligible to become insured or to receive an increase in the amount of insurance, you must be actively at work, fully performing your customary duties for your regularly scheduled number of hours at the employer's normal place of business or at other places the employer's business requires you to travel. If you're not working due to illness or injury, you do not meet the actively at work requirement.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're not working the right amount of hours, you're not at their place of business. If you get sick or injured, your life insurance is no longer in place. That's crazy, right? So that's something that a majority of people don't realize when they're looking into it. Then the next things we look at termination. They can end your coverage at any time because they're in control of it, or they can change it just so you're no longer eligible for the coverage. So why do you think they have that written there?
To protect themselves.
Exactly, right? They own it, they have control over it, and it's all in the contract and it has to be there. And that's usually why, in most cases, policies don't pay out through work. So when we look at it, there is a trend. Well, actually, there's a quick video down here just to kind of save some time today. I'm not going to be able to go over it in the presentation, guys, but we want to play the video. So after we watch the video, crazy situation, right? The teacher didn't get their money because he wasn't there for a specific day, right? So with that, it's never a good idea to put a lot of trust in our group insurance. The trend saying that employers are providing less benefits, not more benefits nowadays. You have to be working. You have to be on active status. A lot of times people go into disability or sick leave sometimes before death, and now maybe their coverage isn't in force. And then living benefits. There's no living benefits associated with group insurance, so no terminal illness rider, anything like that. So that's my second point regarding the ownership. Third point is just thinking about the cost. Like, do you guys know how much you're paying for your group insurance now?
I just come up with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a very small amount that they take out of our paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in most cases, it's usually not very expensive. It's usually relatively cheap, and sometimes it's even free up to a certain amount. Now, that's point number 3. And if that was the case and the insurance through our job was the best type of insurance that we could possibly have, think about all the other private companies like Primerica and Allstate and State Farm and all these other companies. They'd be out of business if group insurance was the best product to have, because if you're paying nothing for it and you can have all this coverage, why would people look into private? Make sense?
Yeah.
But the reason why all of these other companies are out here is because group insurance is not the best. It doesn't cover enough of the what ifs. So when you look at this scenario here, what are the odds that you never retire, you never leave your job, you never get fired or laid off, you die while you're employed there, you don't get sick or hurt first and go on disability, and then the company doesn't change their benefits?
Yeah.
Slim.
Very slim. Yeah.
Very slim for that to happen. So that's a lot of the reasons why it is cheap, is probably never going to pay out. Now, the last point that I always like to bring up as well is regarding health, because in most cases, have you guys ever looked